This episode is brought to you by Distill Union. Hi everyone, this is Edgar, the host of Snug Wrestling. They design everyday carry gear with one simple idea: less but better. From slim Wally wallets with magnetic closures to Ferris key organizers, they keep everything clean and quiet. Distill Union makes carrying your essentials effortless. Built from full grain leather and backed by a 3-year warranty, simplify your carry and save 20% off with promo code SNUG at distillunion.com. That's 20% off with promo code SNUG at distillunion.com.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
The day is here where we actually get to start talking about WrestleMania for real this time. We've done all the build-up, everything leading up to WrestleMania, but we are now officially, as of right now, 4 days away from WrestleMania, which means every Wednesday before the PLE, Snug Wrestling does predictions, and tonight we're going to be doing predictions for night one with the Snug Wrestling crew. With me, my name is Edgar. I am one of the hosts, and with me, like always, the Snug crew is here with us, Mr. Blood, Tommy, and Toxic. We made it, fellas. It is now starting to hit me. It is time for WrestleMania talk. How y'all feeling?
Really good. My brother, he was in our comment section last night, Harry Manbuns. Shout out to Brandon. Saw him earlier today and everything. He just came back to Florida. He's going to be actually watching WrestleMania with me. This will be the first Mania we've watched together in 11 years. And it's crazy because he's the person that got me into pro wrestling. That was him, the Brandon I went to all the TNA events with, when I went to all the Universal and the other smaller shows and WrestleMania in 2020 or 2008 and all that other stuff. And so to kind of like finally, like, you know, after all these years, get to sit down with him and my wife and like share Mania 2 nights in a row, it's a big deal for me. It means a lot to me. And I'm just really excited for this weekend to get into it. But also, we've been pussyfooting around all the WrestleMania talk because we can't give our thoughts and stuff. We've been saving it for predictions for the better part of a month. And finally glad we're here. Really excited to tear into this thing and hear everybody's thoughts, honestly, because I've been wondering what you guys are thinking. You know, we got quite the fucking card here. Lackluster as many people may feel it is. I think, again, like I said last night, 2 months ago, we had one match announced. Reigns, Punk, nothing else. Everything was thrown to the wayside or gone in the wind. No one knew what was going to happen for this show. And now we're sitting here as of recording with 13 matches with a potential 14th to be added on Friday Night SmackDown. So, yeah, man, this is shaping up to be a good weekend.
I'm doing great. I had state testing today. I got 1 down, 2 more to go. Yay. But I am so excited for WrestleMania. I just don't even want to talk about WrestleMania because I want to get into the predictions, but I am super excited.
I am super excited as well, especially with the fact that I just finished watching week 1 of NXT Revenge, in which we will get into that into the next episode. Right after this goes off air, we will set up another live going through week 1 of NXT Revenge. So I'm super excited to get into that as well. I am seriously starting to wonder how you guys are feeling when it comes to WrestleMania and what y'all's predictions are. See if it matches up with mine. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
Very interesting indeed. And I have the matches here. This is night one. This is going to be the predictions for Saturday, but I don't have them in any specific order. I'm just going to pick them however. All right. So just in case you guys are expecting this to go in order, I'm not, because I'm really pumped for this main event. I got all this adrenaline in my soul. Something Cody Rhodes is going to be facing Randy Orton. There's a lot of history in this match, you guys, like going all the way back to, I want to say 20 years plus from when they first started their careers. Both of these guys knew each other very early on. They know each other really, really well. You know, at first, I guess Cody was expecting this to be a friendly championship competition match, but nope. Randy Orton turned bad guy. He turned heelish on Cody a few weeks back. Some people are saying, "Oh 09 Randy is back," because Randy has been beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes left and right. And to make matters worse or better, depending how you look at it, Pat McAfee has joined forces with Randy Orton. So there's a lot of people cheering for Randy. Randy is going after number 15. And not if Cody has something to say about it. But this is going to be one of the matches I'm really looking forward to the most. Who do you guys got, Randy or Cody? That is the question, and why.
Well, I think we can all feel safe to assume that McAfee is already advertised in Randy's corner. We've got to assume Jelly Roll is definitely going to be in Cody's, or if he doesn't come down with Cody, he's definitely going to come down during the match to fight off McAfee or take McAfee out. But when it comes down to it, this is going back about 20-ish years. People forget Cody's first tag partner when he came up to the main roster. He was with Hardcore Holly. That's a name you don't hear too often nowadays. And he went from Hardcore Holly damn near straight into Legacy with DiBiase Jr. and Randy. They were on a tear for a good year and a half or so. So this is definitely a mentor and student story that didn't ever need Jelly Roll or McAfee in it. I think everybody's mostly in agreement on that. Pardon me, but it's safe to say I got to give it to Randy Orton's going to win here. And the reason I got Randy for winning is not just because WWE, specifically Triple H, really loves the record. They telegraphed it. We had leaks about a week or so ago that stated that the planned match for Backlash is Randy Orton and McAfee versus Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes. Because remember, I think it was last Friday night on SmackDown, Pat McAfee came out and said, if Randy doesn't win number 15, you will never see me in the WWE again. And then we had that leak that, it's a planned tag match for the following pay-per-view. So that tells me Randy's going to win. And I'm okay with Randy winning. I don't think he's 09 Randy like people are saying. I think he's close, but 09 Randy was just a whole different monster and animal. He's channeling it, but if he was really 09 Randy, this would be infinitely more chaotic and violent than it has been. And that's saying something because it started out really violent. But I got Randy for number 15.
When we first got heel Randy Orton, I was super happy because we were finally getting a serious Orton. Not that he isn't always serious, but an Orton that is done waiting. He wants what he wants when he wants it. And I wanted him to win at Mania until Pat McAfee came in. It's just why? Just why can't TKO let Triple H book the way he wants to or has to? But TKO has to add in Pat, and it's not Pat's fault. He's not even staying in kayfabe when he's doing promos. He's just name dropping a bunch of bullshit that's completely ruined this story. But last week I realized that I wanted Cody to win because of one, TKO barging in one of the biggest stories going into WrestleMania and the one with the most history. And Cody is right. I hate to say it. Pat McAfee is just Logan Paul without any muscles. So as a Cody crybaby, I will forever be one. I want the American Nightmare to win at WrestleMania, mainly because I want to see him and Royce Keys go at it for the title. But no matter what the outcome for this or night 2 main event, I definitely see a tag match, either CM Punk and Cody Rhodes or Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes versus McAfee and Orton. So I have Cody Rhodes winning this match.
Unfortunately, since this is most likely going to be the main event, they are going to send the fans home happy. There's only one thing to do. And I hate to say it, because I've absolutely been a Cody crybaby since the whole finish the story thing was still happening. Since We Want Cody was happening, I'm going to have to give it to Randy Orton here. Not just because of number 15, but here's the biggest issue. We've been through this story before. This is basically just a complete retelling of Mania last year. with John Cena in a way. So I think at this point, the only way to send the fans home happy-ish is to give Randy Orton that number 15, because people have been behind that since he got the title the first time, and the hints were put in there. So my prediction, the nightmare reign is over. It's RKO.
This one is very interesting. First, I want to give some quick stats here that I found on ESPN really quick. This is the first televised championship match between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. This is Randy Orton's 21st WrestleMania match, up there with The Undertaker, who's at 27, and Triple H, who has 23. This is Cody Rhodes' fourth PLE match or PLE event that he's been in that Cody Rhodes has lost in. So he's in a losing streak, Cody, when it comes to PLEs, according to ESPN. This could go either way. It's 50-50 because the whole thing with Pat McAfee saying that if Randy loses, I will never return to WWE. WWE will never see me ever again, which that right there, that's kind of hard to believe for me. The other thing too, it's like people are really cheering for Randy Orton right now. If Randy loses, I don't think the people would stop cheering for Randy. I think that would make the people cheer for Randy even more, if anything. It also would continue that story if they're trying to have that tag team match at Backlash with Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. I think as much as I would love to see Randy get number 15, I think Cody Rhodes should win it. I think Cody Rhodes just makes the most sense because he's the one that's been main eventing all of the PLEs. You know, he's the one that is putting asses in seats. I don't know if Randy Orton has that same ability than Cody Rhodes as champion. I'm going to go with Cody. Cody crybaby for life is what I think. All right, you guys. Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. Very, very heated rivalry. Some of the shit that happened got real legitimately between these two. Liv Morgan went even as far as to name drop in good old Stephanie Vaquer's mama. So it's been a really intense feud. Is this time for Liv Morgan to become champion at WrestleMania? I believe this is Liv Morgan's first singles match at Mania or first title match at Mania.
I could make an argument for either of these. You could argue Stephanie needs to retain because her title reign has not been anything of note. They legitimately could have done so much more with her and haven't. I feel like she's had this title for what now? I mean, when did she win it? Into last year, beginning of this year? I almost can't remember.
Like WrestlePalooza, so in September-ish.
Yeah, so she's had this title since, 7 months now. And I can't think of all the defenses she's actually had. None of them stand out to me at all. You could also argue that Liv needs it because I feel like at this point it might mean more on Liv's shoulders. And if Liv loses, then who the fuck does she feud with? I feel like there's not much of anybody left for her to feud with except for you could put her in a program with maybe AJ or Becky. If they retain, she could go for the IC title. But at the end of the day, it's hard to toss up because, one, you kind of think, well, you need a feel-good moment. Stephanie needs her comeuppance for all the shit Liv has talked. But then you could also say, well, Liv needs her comeuppance for all the shit that Stephanie was saying about her, saying that she didn't earn it. She hasn't deserved it. She isn't this. She can't do anything alone. I'm gonna surprise myself here, and I'm gonna say Liv Morgan because I don't think the Stephanie title experiment is working well. And it's not Stephanie Vaquer's fault. It's she had an injury. She had 2 defenses. The injury took her out of defenses for 60 days. She's been with, Morgan for most of this time. I think it's got to go on Morgan because, one, Morgan is the more exciting champion in my opinion at this point. I feel like when I look at Stephanie, she's a great wrestler, but she's really just the devil's kiss at this point. And honestly, Liv, I mean, it would give into the credence. If no one interferes in this match, then Liv can finally say that she was able to do it on her own. And I think that does more for Liv. And remember, before Liv got injured, She was supposed to be a massive part of Evolution last year. They had huge plans for her. And I got to wonder that they're waiting for the proper opportunity to finish out those plans. And I think maybe that starts at WrestleMania.
No offense to Liv Morgan, but can y'all hear me? Okay. Making sure I couldn't hear myself because I usually can. No offense to Liv Morgan, but I can't go through another title reign of hers, especially with her annoying promos that she does where she just holds one part of a word out for like, God, it sounds like a minute, but I just can't go through another title reign for her. I have Stephanie retaining. And to make this interesting, I have three things happening that I think would happen and would make this match more exciting. And they're all heel or not heel turns. They're all turns. They're all betraying Liv. I could see Roxanne turning on Liv because think about it. Finn had her join like Finn brought her into the Judgment Day. That could have just been like a plan B. He probably knew that he was about to get kicked. So, I mean, he had to bring Roxanne in. I could see Raquel turning on Liv because Liv did cost her the Royal Rumble, and Raquel's just been a bodyguard as she's always been. And hear me out on this one. I could see Dom turning on her, basically doing what he did to Rhea at SummerSlam. Do I think Stephanie needs Dom? No. But I would just like to see that. It would be interesting to see, but I have Stephanie retaining.
So there are a few matches that we're going to go through tonight that I have been going back and forth on all day and have yet to make a full-blown decision. This match is one of them because of the fact that, as Blood stated, overall, you could make an argument for both sides. You really can. So I have yet to make a full-blown decision, and now is the time where I have to, unfortunately. So, oh God, I'm going Liv. I'm going with my guy. I'm going Liv to get that title back. As much as Stephanie Vaquer has worked her ass off with that title, I feel like between the two title reigns that has happened, I kind of liked Liv a little bit more. Yes, she did have that really annoying thing that Toxic was saying, where she just holds out the same thing for quite a long time, like a long time. Like, yes, we get it. But still, I feel like out of the two of them, I really liked Liv's just a slight bit more. And I feel like with all of the shit that Stephanie Vaquer has been talking, not to mention that face bump from last week, I feel like she's absolutely going to get a heavy receipt from that on Saturday as well. So I am going with Liv Morgan to become the new Women's World Champion.
Dude, the more I hear you guys talk about this, the more I'm starting to appreciate this card a little bit more because already both of these matches are very unpredictable. I feel like usually when we do these predictions, we tend to agree on a lot of the winners because we can kind of anticipate who's going to win. And for the most part, we get it right. But man, this one, it could go either way. Just really quick, Vaquer, this will be her fifth straight. If Vaquer wins at WrestleMania, it'll be her fifth straight PLE victory. Her winning streak began last July when she won the Battle Royal at Evolution, earning a shot at the Women's World Championship, which she claimed by defeating Io Sky at WrestlePalooza. And Liv Morgan is the bigger star. I think when it comes to the women's division, it's Rhea Ripley and then Liv Morgan. It makes sense for Liv Morgan to be Women's World Champion. However, because of the fact that Stephanie Vaquer has had the championship for over 6 months now, her matches haven't been that great. She hasn't really been defended it. For that reason, I want Stephanie Vaquer to win so she can prove to everyone that I am the real deal. I am a real champion. I just defeated one of the best, Liv Morgan. So for that reason, I want to see Stephanie Vaquer win. I'm going Stephanie Vaquer.
And that's another great argument, is that Liv is one of the biggest stars in the women's division. I mean, she's one of those people that she's somehow in the last handful of years risen from being a girl that they kept trying to stick a different gimmick on every 6 months to see what stuck. I mean, you remember her hardcore psycho gimmick where she was a masochist and loved putting herself through tables and getting in pain? That was the gimmick she was in literally before all this Judgment Day shit and her injury happened. Her original injury before she came in with Rhea's feud. And the thing is, like, Liv has gotten to the point where she's become one of those stars in the roster where the title doesn't make her. She makes the title now. She's at that level now. And she has no championship. You could still say she's a bigger star than Jade Cargill. She has no championship. She's a bigger star than Stephanie Vaquer. She has no championship, but she's more beloved even while being hated than Becky Lynch. Like, you know, it's crazy where she's gotten. She's definitely not on Rhea's level. She's not on Charlotte's level, but she is literally right underneath. And it's fucking crazy. If Bayley has all the respect in the women's division, like she's the most respected woman on the roster, I think Liv is the one that has impressed the most people with how she's turned her career around. So I think, yeah, it really is kind of cool that you could say either one of these women deserve to walk out with it, but I don't think either of them is worse off if they don't.
Very true. The Women's Intercontinental Championship, the returning AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. This match, the last time they wrestled each other at, what was it, where they had that really good match? Was it WrestlePalooza? No, WrestlePalooza was the mixed tag match. It was the one after that.
I think
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, they wrestled.
Okay. That match was really good. So they've been feuding. Becky and AJ have been feuding for a while. So this match didn't really need a whole lot of buildup, especially because it's going to be the mid card of WrestleMania. But I'm already hyped for it. We got a returning AJ Lee who hasn't been in WrestleMania for like over 10 years. And after that, AJ Lee went away. So Becky Lynch is like, hey, while you were gone, I was the one that, you know, took over and, you know, I took the torch and I ran with it and I helped build this place and I'm the man and I'm the better woman. So it's kind of, you know, two generations meeting each other and the biggest stage of them all for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This is going to be a good match. Who do you guys got, AJ Lee or Becky Lynch?
You know what I love about this? I love that the fact that the two people who both left the company at the heights of their prime are married to each other. CM Punk and AJ Lee. In this story, it reminds me of Punk and Roman. If Punk never leaves, does Roman ever even really have a chance if Punk stays? And the same thing with Becky. Does Becky ever really make it? Does she take off? Does Seth Rollins ever take off if Punk never leaves and AJ Lee never leaves? Do they have all those accolades? Do they have those massive title runs? Does the man gimmick ever stack up to a veteran seasoned beloved roster mainstay like AJ? Does Seth Rollins and Roman ever have the chance to even have those main events, have those crazy stories, have those title runs if CM Punk never leaves? So with AJ and Punk, it's crazy to me that the three people that hate them the most also, in some form or fashion, owe their entire success of their careers to both AJ and Punk leaving. And with Becky is only in the position she's in, one, because she worked hard, but two, she got lucky. Tell me another time in wrestling history a person became the most beloved face in a company because someone broke their nose. You know, it's crazy. Becky was getting light chance over Charlotte. When Nia breaks her nose, now the man takes off. The iconic bloody nose shot in the crowd. What if AJ Lee had never left? Does Becky ever get a shot if AJ's still in the main event? So, and that's why I love their promo. She goes, there is no man, there is no big time Bex, there is no Becky 2 belts without me, because I opened the doors that you walked through. I trailblazed for you. And I think it's great that Becky has, put AJ over throughout this feud. But now I think it's probably time that AJ return the favor. I don't see WWE booking Becky to lose every single encounter with especially when she's also was doing the honors for Maxine Dupree on top of that during all of this. I think as much as I hate it, because she's my girl, she's my Hall of Fame, she's on my Rushmore, I do think AJ Lee drops the title to Becky Lynch, because I think Becky did all the the good graces, put her over and over again. I think it's time in wrestling. Now you pay it back forward. Now it's time to put it back on Becky. But then you got to wonder, well, who the fuck takes it off Becky?
That's one of the main issues why I don't want Becky winning and I have AJ winning. It's probably going to be my shortest one, but Becky doesn't need it again. She's a 2-time Intercontinental champion. In my opinion, she buried Maxine when she took it from her. So no, just not again. I can't sit through it again. I can't sit Donald Trump with gold around his waist. No, I can't. And who else is left for her to face other than Ivy Nile? That's the only other person I can see going after the title. So no, I have AJ winning.
Well, we also have to think after Mania, who's getting called up from NXT?
Yeah, that is the question. But here's my thing. I'm with Tox on this one. I'm going AJ Lee for this. I cannot handle a third goddamn Intercontinental title reign from Becky goddamn Lynch. I can't. Those other two got on my nerves so much that I would much rather have Ivy Nile take it off of AJ Lee than to have Becky Lynch take it off of her for a third goddamn time. I would rather somebody that is younger than the two of them take it off of it. Like, take it off of AJ. That's my big thing. So I am going with AJ Lee retaining the Intercontinental title and giving other shots to the younger folks.
Yeah, man. Again, unpredictability here. This one's going to be good. This will be Becky Lynch's 10th WrestleMania match, tying her with Naomi for second most in the women's division. Natalya with 11 has more. Becky Lynch has a positive WrestleMania record, so she has that going for her. According to ESPN, Becky Lynch is 4-2 in singles division. Yeah, man, as much as I have not been a fan of Becky Lynch's prior Intercontinental Championship reigns, I think it does make more sense to have Becky Lynch win it at Mania. Because, I mean, since AJ Lee since she's been back, she's felt very part-time. You know, she's only been on TV a handful of times because of this feud with Becky Lynch. That's the only person she's been feuding with. So if AJ Lee beats Becky Lynch, that would mean AJ Lee would have to find a new opponent, a new feud, another program to get into. I don't see that happening, unfortunately. I think AJ Lee's dates are just very limited. So I think Becky Lynch is going to win because, let's be for real, that championship deserves to be showcased on TV. AJ Lee's a star, very entertaining, great wrestler. But is she going to make the dates like a Becky Lynch would? I don't think so.
Well, she also, a lot of people forget, AJ also runs a whole other business outside of WWE that she's literally in charge of. And she's literally the head of it. And she also writes comic books and everything else and works for comic book companies. She's a busy woman. The only reason, and though I want AJ to retain, I'm saying Becky. I want AJ to retain, but I feel like I would still love to see Becky feud with that title. If Stephanie Vaquer retains, I'd love to see a Live AJ program. I'd love to see I'd love to see an AJ and program with Charlotte Flair or Alexa Bliss. I mean, there's so many matches you can do with AJ. If Becky wins, we could have the same ones, but I want to see AJ in the ring with some of these women that are in the same generation of Becky and Charlotte's that she's never gotten a match up with. I'd love a face-to-face feud with Io Sky and AJ Lee. Like, there's so many possibilities. It's just going to depend on what happens. And then we also have NXT call-ups. Zarya, maybe Sol Ruka, Jada Parker. Like any of these people could come up.
Shout out to the homie Black Spider really quick. He said, give me Rebecca Trump all day. If AJ retains, I need her to lose it the the Raw after Mania, to lose it the Monday after Mania, I think is what he meant. Black Spider also says she elevated the IC belt. I'm assuming he's referring to AJ. Yeah, she's been MIA the entire Mania run. So thanks, Black Spider, for your comment.
But imagine how big it would be for somebody like Ivy Nile to take that title off of somebody as massive as AJ fucking Lee. Imagine how big that would be for somebody like.
I mean, it could be star making.
Catering this entire time.
Yeah, it could be star making. The thing is, you could argue that with AJ or Becky, they're both big enough stars that whoever beats them, it's going to mean something for their career. It's just what story can you tell and what program is going to be the most interesting for the fans.
All right, up next, since we're talking about the women's division, the women's tag team championships, the tag team division has been crazy leading up to WrestleMania. We got the current champions, Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra, and the Bella Twins. And this is a fatal 4-way tag team match. This one is hard to call, man, because there's so many fucking people involved. Who do you guys got?
Really quick, I would also like to say there's an asterisk next to one of those teams, and it's the Bella Twins, because apparently Nikki is injured, and they don't know if she'll be cleared in time for Mania. We'll find out on Friday, but that is something that a lot of people have not heard yet. Two, what a time we live in. This is night one, and this is the third women's match. I think that's fucking crazy, considering you wind the clock back 10 years when Vince was still running things. You'd be lucky if there were 2 women's matches on a 7-hour Mania. So I love that where we are now. These women are really getting a showcase. When it comes down to it, it's easy for me. I want it to be Bayley and Lyra. They have literally been trying to do this for like 6 months. And I'm so glad they dropped the stupid multiple personality story with Bayley. It was cringe as fuck for me. Lyra, I liked her in the beginning. She got on my nerves most of last year, pissed me off in the Becky Bayley. She has slowly gotten back in my good graces. But the woman needs to work on her fucking promos. Other than that, I would love to see these guys have some really good tag team title defenses. I would love them to hold them. If we do another women's evolution this year, let them hold them and defend them there too, because they were great the last evolution. So when it comes with it, I think it's Bayley and Lyra's time. Charlotte and Alexa already had them. I don't think the Bella Twins need them. If the Bella Twins are still out due to Nikki's injury, fine. Lash and Nia have held them, but I feel like they haven't done much for them. But when it comes down to it, yeah, man, let's finally put some fucking respect on Bayley's name.
I have Bayley and Lyra winning this because they didn't get to last year. Well, Lyra did. Bayley didn't. But Bayley just needs way better. She just deserves way better than what she's gotten. And we've been saying this, I want to say like 3 weeks, 3-ish, 2-ish. I don't know. But the Bellas, I don't see them winning, and it's mainly because of Nikki. I don't know if it's either going to have to be Brie just carrying, or if they're just out because of Nikki. But if they are, throw Asuka and Kyrie in. They need something to do if they're not doing Io and Asuka at Mania. That's what you need to do. I don't have Charlotte and Alexa or Nia and Lash winning because I feel like they're just going to be at each other's throats the entire time. So, but I wouldn't be mad if either of them. Actually, I'm not mad if any of them won, but I just don't see if Nikki's not able to be in the match. I just don't see them winning unless, once again, Brie just goes ham and carries for them, and she goes at it on her own, or throw in Asuka and Kyrie instead of the Bellas.
Yeah, for one, fuck the Bella Twins. Toxic has this way with Gunther. I have this way with the Bella Twins. Fuck the Bella Twins. But the three of us here, we are all in agreement. I'm absolutely going Lyra and Bayley. Bayley has gotten the short end of the stick for the last year. In fact, she was taken out for last year's Mania just for Becky Lynch to return. So I have to go Lyra and Bayley here. Let us see what a tag team title reign would be if we got it last year. Because clearly that was the plan, was for Lyra and Bayley to be tag team champions last year if Bayley wasn't taken out. So that's who I'm going. I feel like the same way as the other two, where the Irresistible Forces, as dumb as a name as that is, holy crap, but they have done pretty much nothing with those tag titles. Only defended it like what, twice, if that. So I'm absolutely not going with them. The Bella Twins don't need anything. Nikki Bella doesn't need anything. Brie needs to go off on her own. So there's that. And I also don't feel like the third one that Charlexa needs it either. So my final decision is Lyra and Bayley to be the new tag team champion.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if Lash and Nia retained, just so Lash can have a WrestleMania moment, because she's new. You know, she's the next big star in the women's division. She's the future of the women's division, Lash Legend is. So I wouldn't be mad for that reason. But you're right, Tommy. I haven't really been a fan of them as champions right now. Not as much as I would like to be, because I think they're a great tag team. But yeah, I'm also going to go with Bayley and Lyra. I just feel like they need it more. Honestly, it doesn't really make a difference to me who wins the titles that match, but I would like to see Bayley and Lyra win it. Bayley doesn't get enough credit, and I think Lyra's really good. So I'm going to go with Bayley and Lyra, and shout out to Black Spider, who he says he'd be happy if Bayley won. She's getting the Sheamus treatment, a veteran who's mostly there to put people over. So yeah, Team Bayley for sure, he says. So I think we're all on the same page, fellas.
Yeah, and also when you think about it, Triple H loves Bayley. Like she's one of his kids. You got to remember, the Four Horsewomen were very close to Triple H when he ran NXT. He's got a very soft spot for Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte. And when it comes to Bayley, I think Triple H knows that because Bayley is so willing to play ball and be selfless with her career and trust the process, and he knows that she was unable to make Mania last year because they wrote her out of the match when she should have been in it. I feel like they'll put it on her this year as a make good for being such a good soldier over the last year. I just feel like Triple H also pays attention to the fans, and they have a social media team that knows that all the internet is like, dude, treat Bayley better. Treat her better. Like, we want to see her treated better, and I feel like they're going to finally.
Yeah, and not to mention, it'll look great on Lyra, because wasn't Lyra like the first ever women's Intercontinental champion?
She was. Should have been Dakota Kai, but yeah.
So yeah, that would look great on her. First ever women's Intercontinental champion. She's feuded with Becky. She's partnered up with Bayley, and she wins tag team gold with Bayley at WrestleMania
while holding the IC championship last year. She's the first ever women's IC champion, but also the first ever double holding champion with the women's IC champion. She was a tag champ at the same time for like 24 hours, but hey.
Fair enough.
And Snug, I know you say that Lash a WrestleMania moment, but I'm pretty sure just being in this match is a massive WrestleMania moment for her. I mean, she's in the ring with two of the Four Horsewomen. Also, two, like, legitimately one of the biggest, as much as I hate to say it, because it's the Bella Twins, one of the biggest women's tag team of all time. So just being in this match with all of them is a giant WrestleMania moment for her.
And keep in mind, she's also in there with 5, if the Bellas make it, 5 women's former world champions: Nia, Bailey, Alexa, Charlotte, and Nikki. That's a big deal.
Also, Charlotte Flair has a whole bunch of WrestleMania matches and experience, so that must be pretty cool for Lash also. Like, hey, I get to be there with Charlotte, someone who's very familiar, when it comes to WrestleMania.
What a great spot to be in for her first WrestleMania, Lashley.
Absolutely. The unsanctioned match, you guys, between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. This is the first unsanctioned match in how long it's been? Since 2017, so almost 10 years ago, and that match was Seth Rollins versus Triple H. And this feud has been pretty weird. It started off kind of weird because Drew McIntyre was undisputed champion for what felt like 5 seconds. Jacob Fatu cost Drew McIntyre the title, which is the reason why Cody's champion now. So a lot of people were really upset at Jacob Fatu for that reason. So we're off to the races. They started building up this feud between Jacob and Drew. A lot of people felt like Drew should have been at the main event for WrestleMania, but instead they're doing this with Jacob Fatu. And it's just crazy to think about because last year at WrestleMania, Jacob Fatu won his match, became United States champion. That was the last time Jacob Fatu has won a match at a PLE, was exactly 1 year ago. So is he going to be able to do it this year versus Drew McIntyre, unsanctioned match? What do you guys think?
This feud has been weird because it's been going on technically since like November. I also love that we randomly just dropped the part of who actually took out Jacob initially. Jacob believes it's Drew. Drew has never confirmed nor denied whether it was him. He goes, I didn't do it. But then again, he leaned into, well, what if I did or if I did? But there's never been any proof. There's never been any footage. There's never been any smoking gun, any evidence that Drew actually attacked Jacob. So this feud is all built on Jacob just believing it was Drew with no proof. My thing is, one, that's stupid. We never definitively found out if it was Drew. But two, I'm fine that this match is going to be chaotic and crazy. But it's also dumb because I already know who's winning. It's going to be Jacob. Drew is literally leaving to go film Highlander for 2 months. So he's not going to go out on a win. He's going to go out putting Jacob over. They're going to put over, oh my God, Jacob destroyed Drew in this match. Drew's injured, whatever. They're going to write him off so he can go film. That's what this match is going to be. That's why it's an unsanctioned hardcore match. It's to write Drew off. So it's Jacob all the way.
Yeah, I have Jacob winning, and because the match is going to be more than I expect it to be, because these two have been in a non-stop feud since Drew won the Undisputed Championship from Cody. And a story like this with a lot of heat and tension will be hell. I already said that part. I don't see Drew gaining anything from this, but God dang, I keep reading the same thing. Jacob has a lot to gain from this, and he can prove that he's just not some former felon that was behind bars, and he's evolved from that point in his time of his lifetime. Just real quick, I also hate when they bring that up in a story, which, yes, I get it, it's to get them fired up, but I just hate that. Like for Priest and Jacob, why bring up the lowest point in their life just for I don't get why they do that, but I mean, if it's to make a story better, then I guess, but I mean, that's just who I am. I just don't like people using a low part of someone's life against them. But I mean, if it's to make a story or a match better, then I guess I'm for it.
Yeah, at this point, it's got to be Jacob. It just has to. It's within everything that this feud has been, they both have been all over the place. There absolutely will be color in this match. There is no doubt about that. Look at the two men in here. It's going to happen. There is going to be blood all over the place. That's just what's going to happen. But if I were to give this to anyone, and this is another one where I was going back and forth on it all day, I'm going Jacob Fatu to beat Drew McIntyre.
I like both of these guys, man. It's kind of hard for me to pick one guy. It's just I'll be good if either one of these guys wins, if I'm being honest. Man, oh man. I'm going to go Drew McIntyre just because I still feel like I'm not going to say Drew got screwed from being in the main event. Well, I guess he technically did, but he's still in WrestleMania. He's still facing a big star like Jacob Fatu in a big match. I would like to see Drew get something out of this, even if it wasn't a title match in the main event of WrestleMania. I want to see Drew McIntyre at least get the victory in his match. Sorry, Jacob. I love you, bro. But I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre here. Black Spider also says Jacob Fatu, but he'd be good with it either way. It's going to be a good match. I hope. It's going to get crazy. All right, you guys. We got a couple more left. Up next, we're going to go with Seth Rollins versus Gunther. This has had a 3 week build up, excuse me. We just found out this past Monday what the whole fuss was about, right? We went over it, Blood broke it down pretty good. Gunther has been on his just ending people's careers left and right. He's been on his own streak. Seth Rollins just came back from injury. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good match because these two are really good workers. But how do you guys think this one's going to play out?
This is interesting because for the one story that really matters the least on this entire card, has the least amount of build, with the only thread of any real connection between these two being that the same night CM Punk took the title off Gunther, Rollins cashed in and took it off Punk. This is all clearly leading to getting Gunther to the Brock match. I do this favor, I did this so I call in a favor. Here's the problem with this match. I don't think either of these men can really lose. If Seth loses, he came back, did all this masked man bullshit since War Games, all this interference, all this craziness, all this fucking hiding and ducking and dodging, just so he could not fight the Vision and fight Gunther. But if he loses his first match back, his momentum is damn near fucking stunted off rip after being gone for 6 months. But if Gunther loses, all that momentum from retiring Cena, retiring AJ, retiring Goldberg, all the tear he's been on, that gets stunted too. Because you can't be the career killer, I'm the best, I'm this, I'm taking everybody out, and then lose at the biggest show of the year. And then you're going to go to Paul Heyman and go, hey, give me Brock Lesnar. You owe me a favor. It's like, well, you didn't handle the Seth Rollins problem. He beat you, So it's just like either of these men losing doesn't make sense. But it's a weird scenario. I almost feel like they booked themselves into a corner for what comes after. Because is Seth really a threat if he lost to Cody his last match and then automatically loses to Gunther his first match back? And does Brock really take Gunther seriously if he loses at WrestleMania? Is Paul Heyman like, I don't know you a favor. You couldn't get the job done. It's weird. I genuinely don't know who should win this match. If I had to pick who made the most sense, I'd say Seth, only because Seth already lost his match before he left on injury. We need Braun Breaker to come back. I could say that Braun's either returning this match, or I think Braun might return the night after WrestleMania on Monday. But it's hard, man, because Gunther has been on a win streak, but having him lose also, it's only okay that he loses because he's been winning so much. But I just don't know how that helps him with Paul Heyman and getting to Brock. You know what I mean? It's confusing. I'm going to say Seth for the sheer fact of I think Seth needs it more to justify all this crazy shit he's been doing. Otherwise, it was all for nothing.
Quick correction, Blood. Seth didn't beat Cody at Crown Jewel. Or no, he did beat Cody at Crown Jewel. Excuse me. So he
beat?
did win. Yeah, he did. He beat
I,
Cody at Crown Jewel.
oh, thank you. I thought he lost for some
No,
reason.
he beat Cody at Crown Jewel. Anyways, at first I found the match stupid as all hell, but then eventually I started to warm up to it and realized through words of my brain and also through blood that this match has weekend like match of the weekend potential. The reason I wasn't for this is because I thought it was going to be a retirement match. And in general, it's going to hurt when Seth retires. He's in the conversation of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and he has a Hall of Fame career, in my opinion. But turns out Gunther was just tired of someone being better than him in every way possible. Knowing my thoughts on Gunther, you should already know who I'm picking to win this. I have Seth freaking Rollins winning, and you can say this about both of them, but they just came back and you have to keep their momentum going, which now hearing what Blood said, I can see them either doing Gunther getting himself disqualified and have Seth winning bleh, has Seth winning, but keeping Gunther strong in the process and he could like beat down Seth afterwards, or double count out. So technically neither of them lost or neither of them won. So this match is definitely going to be interesting to see who wins or who loses or if any of them win. But now I'm way more excited for this match than I was.
I feel like this is where Braun Breaker returns. That's my big thing. And if Braun Breaker returns, I feel like the one that can take the bigger hit and still keep going, even if this docks a little bit of their momentum, I feel like Seth can take the bigger than Gunther can. Because yes, Seth did just come back. He just did all this masked man shit and all of that. But at the same time, it's Seth freaking Rollins. Come on. He can absolutely take a bigger hit on his momentum than Gunther can. So I'm going Gunther to win. I was going back and forth all day on this simply because of what this match is. But I'm going Gunther to beat Seth Rollins.
I also don't think the fans would be as angry if Seth lost because Braun Breaker returned. They would just be like, well, fuck the match. Finally, we're getting this. Like, that's how they would feel. I also think they'd be extremely excited that Braun's back. But then I also feel like they'd be super pissed. If Braun was fine enough to interfere, why did we have to have Gunther in the match? We could have just done Seth and Braun here. But again, fans are going to tear it apart either way, I feel.
Yeah, I'm with also with Black Spider on the comment says he's Team Gunther. I'm also Team Gunther, especially with what you guys have been saying. If Braun Breaker returns, cost Seth Rollins the match, it sets up the match that we've been wanting to see, which is Braun versus Seth. And also, if the plan is for Gunther versus Brock, I think you kind of have Gunther go over on this one. If he's the one that's going to retire Brock fucking Lesnar, you can't have Seth Rollins beat Gunther. I'm sorry, but you can't. Also, really quick stats here from ESPN about this one. Rollins won 4 straight WrestleMania matches from 2015 to 2019. He's also won his last 3 WrestleMania matches. Gunther, in the other hand, has lost his last 3 WrestleMania matches versus Sami Zayn in 2024 and Jey Uso last year. So I think it's time to give Gunther a WrestleMania win. This is also the first time that Gunther will wrestle Seth Rollins one-on-one in a televised match, which I thought was...
Well, technically it's 2 years he lost, Sami and Jay. The year before Sami, he won his triple threat for the IC title against Sheamus and Drew. But
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
but when it comes down to it, I'm actually going to switch my prediction to Gunther as well. If this means a Braun Breaker return, Seth can take the loss because it serves the greater story. And Braun returning actually serves the greater 2 stories. It serves and sets up his feud and continues his feud and sets up more anger and vitriol from Seth, but it also allows Gunther to maintain that momentum to where that favor makes sense. Because I feel like it's so stupid. Hey, I lost and didn't get the job done, but I still want to call him that chit. And, you can't, I feel like that makes Gunther look like a loser, so I feel like he's got to go over. And I don't think and it protects Seth in defeat if he gets taken out by Brock. I'm just saying, though, I still see fans tearing it apart. There are going to be fans who don't understand that maybe Braun got cleared in the last week and they started this feud 2-3 weeks ago. So I see fans who are going to be mad that, well, if he could interfere, then why the fuck can we just do Seth and Braun Breaker here? Why do we just have to throw Gunther into this? And then they had Ray come a week after, Gunther was back when they were supposed to feud. They could have just still had Gunther versus Ray. I can see all the argument out of this if Braun returns. But at the end of the day, just be happy Braun came back. If he comes back, you know what I mean?
Snug, I
fuck
hate
is what I would say. No, I'm kidding.
Snug, I hate to interrupt, but did the ESPN thing say that Rollins won his last 3 Mania matches?
So let me read it, what it says. Rollins won 4 straight WrestleMania matches from 2015 to 2019 and is looking to match that feat with a win against Gunther after winning his past 3 WrestleMania appearances.
Okay, well, that's false because he won at 41, he lost at 40 twice, and he won at 39. So,
well, fuck ESPN.
I think
then.
ESPN's got to fact check themselves because I was about to say, I was like, Seth, the 15 to 19, yes, but Gunther, they're like, he won 3 in a row. Nah, bro, he lost the last 2.
Yeah, this is Sean Coyle from ESPN. Sean, you can't argue with Toxic, right? This fool has a memory like a fucking elephant over here.
Well, not even just that. Friggin', it sounds to me like ESPN needs to fact check more because at that point, I never thought it says Wikipedia has it more correct than an actual sports broadcasting network. The funny thing is, you're in partnership with WWE. How do you still get it wrong?
Damn, then who the fuck can we trust?
Like, dude, these things are on video. These losses and wins are literally recorded. So how are you getting these wrong?
Unless I'm reading it wrong, but that's what it says. After winning in his past 3 WrestleMania appearances, it says.
Yeah,
that's what that means, right?
Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Gunther literally went in IC triple threat to Sammy because he was still the IC champion to losing the world title to Jay. So like that just doesn't make 3, nah, bro.
So so I was wrong on that. So Gunther was successful at WrestleMania 2023 for the Intercontinental Championship versus Drew and Sheamus, right? Then in 2024, that was when he lost it to Sammy. And then in 2025, he lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Jey Uso.
Yep.
So it was his last 2 WrestleManias that Gunther has lost.
Yeah. So it makes sense to have him go over here. You can't be the ring general if on the biggest stage of them all, you've got a bad win-loss record. So I feel like, I think we're all in agreement, right? Gunther goes over here.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not Toxic. Toxic says fuck him, Seth. But in Toxic's heart, he knows it's Gunther. But in his fight, it's Seth.
Saving the best for last. I did this on purpose because this is going to be the match that steals the show on Saturday. The Usos and LA Knight versus Austin Theory and 2 of the greatest pro wrestlers in the world, Logan Paul and I Show Speed. Boy, I think this is going to be the one that's going to open Saturday, right? One of the free matches or whatever. Yeah, man. I mean, at least LA Knight is having a WrestleMania match. That's cool. Austin Theory, same thing. Because, damn, I can't even remember the last time. Was the last time Austin Theory on Mania versus Cena?
No, I think he was on it in tag stuff like the year after.
Yeah, it was at 40 in the giant ladder match.
Yeah, but LA Knight, man, he's been, I mean, kind of like Bailey, man. LA Knight feels like he's been getting the shitty end of the stick for the most part. So I I'm just glad he managed to be on the card this year. But who do you guys got?
Man, this is crazy, right? Here's the thing. I absolutely feel like the Usos and LA should go over because they've been fucking feuding with Division since like October, November. They also took LA out, but the two members, or one of the members that took him out because it was Bronson and Logan, is injured for the next 5 months. So he doesn't get to get any get back on Bronson. The Vision shit could be over by then for all we know. And if Braun Breaker returns, he's running a ragtag version of the Vision with Logan and Austin with no Braun or Bronson. iShow Speed is in this, so there's going to be some comedy bullshit, curse shenanigans. I feel like this is definitely a match you insert Danhausen in somewhere. This match is the opener. I feel like the Vision is probably going to lose here because there's no titles on the line. They can lose because iShow Speed betrays them or cause the curse by Danhausen comes into play against them, causing them to lose. Or Danhausen gets involved, goes to curse iShow Speed, he dodges, he gets either Logan or Theory. The Usos and LA need to go over here because they need to finally get their win over the Vision. They've been feuding with him since fucking October. Bronson is going to be gone for 5 months. I don't see LA ever getting his get back on Bronson while he's still involved in this story. I just don't. And I doubt they'll keep him in the Vision story for the next 5 months. He's been in it for the last 5 months. That being said, yeah, I think the Usos and LA go over here to start the crowd off happy with Yeats and Yaz. And the Vision get to not defend their titles and remain champions and don't have to lose them right after they
I feel like this match is on the card mainly because there's nothing else for the Vision to do or the Usos or LA Knight, and they just inserted Speed in here because Bronson's out. Anyways, I have the Usos and Knight winning because I mean Knight needs a Mania win because he hasn't had one since WrestleMania 40 against AJ Styles, and I can see either one of the Usos getting the pin on either one of the tag team champions, and then Adam Pearce will say, "Oh, well, guess what? You pinned you, so you two teams for the titles the Monday after." Because it's on Saturday, so they have time to rest and recover depending on how the match goes. But yes, it's Speed's in-ring debut and WrestleMania debut, but I mean, I don't really know. I don't know if this is just a one-off thing for him. If it's I'm gonna do here and then maybe like I'll go and then come back, basically like what Jelly Roll's doing. But the only way I see the Vision winning is from a returning Bronson Reed if he's fully healed and ready to come back, which I don't think he is.
Yeah, I am also going Usos and LA Knight for this, mainly because of the fact that, as Blood said, Danhausen can easily be put in here. Why? Because, hey, yo, you are cursed. So I am absolutely going with the Usos and LA Knight for this, but the boys have basically just said everything that needed to be said there, honest. So I think at this point, the team that needs to go over are the Usos. I feel like this easily could have been a regular tag match for the titles since, neither of those damn tag titles are on the card, like at all as of recording. For all we know, SmackDown could put their tag titles on there on Friday. We don't know. But I feel like at this point, it has to be the Usos and LA Knight going over.
They fucking better, dog. They fucking better. A former world champion, Jey Uso, Jimmy, one of, a tag team championship holder, probably the longest ever record holding tag team champion, Jimmy Uso, former United States champion, LA Knight. They cannot lose to a team that has iShow Speed, a guy who has had like 2 wrestling matches, probably, or 1 wrestling match in his entire career. Yeah, no. I would be mad for LA Knight if he loses at WrestleMania because, again, according to ESPN, LA Knight has had a rough stretch at WWE PLE. Since 2024, he has lost 8 straight PLE matches, including last year's WrestleMania when Jacob Fatu defeated him for the United States Championship. Knight's last PLE win was at WWE Crown Jewel in November of 2024. So it's like, bro, LA Knight better get the win over fucking ISHO Speed, bro.
Yeah, he's overdue for a win. If you ask me, he should get the pin.
Absolutely. But that was WrestleMania Night 1 predictions with the Snug Wrestling crew. I hope that helps get you hyped up for the show, gets your wheels spinning, gets you thinking who is going to win. Let us know in the comments. Follow us and all that good stuff. And we will see you soon for Night 2 predictions. Let's get up out of here.
With everybody saying, hell a night, yeah. Thank you guys for kicking it with us here on Snug Wrestling. That wraps up Night 1 predictions for WrestleMania 42 this weekend. Remember, we are going live tomorrow, same time, same place, with a special guest for Night 2 predictions. That'll be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Central. And of course, remember, Friday night after SmackDown, the post-show review. And each night after Mania, the post-show reviews for Night 1 and 2 on Saturday and Sunday as soon as the shows go off the air. When it comes down to it, guys, if you love hanging out with us, you can do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after Monday Night Raw, NXT, and Friday Night SmackDown go off the air respectively for live post-show reviews. Now, typically on Thursdays, but not this week, we do one-on-ones on TikTok Live where myself, Mr. Blood, go one-on-one with the head of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, for 1 hour for random or relevant wrestling topics. And we also do fan engagement live in the Q&As. So join us next Thursday where we get back to basics, most likely, if we do not have another special guest, but we will announce that if we do. And follow us on all of our social media across all platforms. You can catch us streaming on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Instagram during the weeks. And of course, if you miss the shows, you can also follow us and stream with us on Apple and Spotify at Snug Wrestling. And of course, if you like reaction content, head over to all of our social media for segment-to-segment reaction contents. And that will also be happening during wrestling as well. So guys, until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. Boys, I said for Night 1 time, for the 1 time for WrestleMania. I said that was 4 letters.
4 letters.
One word.
One word.